किती वाजता सुरू
So
करता
good morning.
गुड मॉर्निंग.
9 वाजता चालू करतोय सर.
हा
एक 5 मिनिटात चालू करूया सर 9 वाजता.
आय एम रेडी. तुम्ही सांगा, आपण चालू करू. नो प्रॉब्लेम.
हो हो चालेल.
येस.
करू एक 5 मिनिटं थांबा. जॉईन
अरे
करा.
काय आवाज येतो का पिंगळे सर?
हा सर येतोय आवाज.
Yes, sir. Yes.
क्लिअर ना? ओके.
हो हो सर.
रिझल्ट कशी झाली मॅथ्सची तुझ्यासाठी?
थांबा, ते आमचं रिसर्च पेपरवर वेबिनार आहे.
So, good morning to everyone. Welcome to our today's seminar on how to write the research paper. We are honored to have such an eminent personality for today as an expert teacher for today's seminar. I would like to warmly welcome our today's guest speaker, Dr. Parikshit Mahalle sir, who have agreed to share their expertise with us. Also, I would like to welcome our honored principal, Dr. Kailash Karande sir. I also feel honored to welcome our students, my fellow colleagues, for taking the knee part in this important seminar. I'm sure that you all will feel enriched with the knowledge after the completion of this event. Let us all take the advantage of this opportunity to grow and learn together. So let's begin our journey for learning and discovery together. So now I would like to request our HOD, Mr. Pingre sir, to introduce today's guest. Pingre sir.
Thank you, Jagdare sir. Good morning to all. I welcome to the today's resource person, Dr. P.N. Mahalle sir, our principal, Dr. K.J. Karande sir, faculty members, and all my dear students. I will give the brief introduction about this sir, because sir's CV is almost 45 pages, so it's difficult to cover. Sir has completed his BE from Amravati University in 2000. Sir has completed his ME from Pune University in 2007. Sir has completed PhD from Aalborg University, Denmark in 2013. Sir is also doing the postdoc researcher at CMI Aalborg University, Denmark. As far as the experience of sir is concerned, sir is having the experience of 23 years. Under the guidance of the sirs, 5 students has awarded the PhD degree. Sir is working as a member on the various committees such as Board of Studies, subject expert in Pune University as well as other universities. Currently, sir is working as a Dean Research and Development at Vishwakarma Institute of Information Technology, Pune. So sir is working as a head of department in Artificial Intelligence and Data Science at Vishwakarma Institute of Information Technology, Pune. It's all about this, sir. Now over to the Jagdale sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request our principal, Dr. Kailash Karande sir, to say a few words for the today's session. Please, sir.
Good morning, you all, and I welcome my friend Dr. Parikshit Mahalle, as he's working with VIIT today, but long time. I think a longest tenure of his service is with Sihagat family, and still he is our family member, even though he is with VIIT. And I remember the day when he joined the PhD program at Aalborg, and I have seen the complete transformation since that time till date in the field of research, because research, getting it done from the students, is the difficult task, and which he does very nicely, very systematically. And always I watch his updates, and more than 50 books, research books in his credit is a very big thing, big achievement. And of course, students likes to work under him. That is most important quality which he is having. Today's webinar, I think almost majority students are the UG students, and these all final year students, they have completed their projects, and they are going to exhibit on 27th of this month. We have the annual project exhibition, and this time we requested all the groups to write one research paper on the projects, so that they can publish the research papers. So I request Dr. Mahalle sir to guide these students, because they are the students from the UG program, and few might be from the PG, but majority are from UG program. So you guide accordingly. You should give the motivation and importance of the research articles and papers in our life. That is most important. I'll not take much of the time. Once again, I welcome Dr. Mahalle sir and request him to begin his session. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. I hope I am audible clearly to all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's clearly audible.
Thank you. So, very good morning to all the students, faculty coordinators, Pingre sir, and principal, respected Dr. Karande sir. Once again, very good morning to all. As rightly mentioned by Karande sir, even though I am now part of VIIT, but it's been a longest tenure of my career. I have spent and invested at Sinhagad campus, Vadgaon campus, Pune, and it's always pleasure to be connected with any institute of Sinhagad, institutes. So once again, very good morning to all, and thank you very much to Principal Sir, Dr. Pingre Sir, and entire team for inviting me and giving me opportunity to share my views on this very interesting topic of how to write research paper. As thank you, Karande sir, for giving me an update. All these students who are attending this webinar are from final year from computer science and engineering, and most of you have already done with your projects, or maybe you are on the verge of completion of your final year projects. And then definitely I will stick to the same context so that it will be more useful to all the final year students. So before I start with my session, I have small request to all the students, as we are going to stop at 10:30 or 10:40. So I will reserve last 10 minutes for question and answer, so that your every question can be answered properly and there can be more takeaways from this webinar. So let me share my presentation first, and please acknowledge me whether my slide is visible or not. So now I'm on the first slide, and I hope this slide is visible to you all.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay, thank you very much. So if you look at the title of my presentation, it is basically going to be a knowledge sharing session on how to write research paper. As you know, there are two components of this entire presentation. The first part of presentation will be purely on, once we write research paper, then what are the benefits? Basically, always you all are final year students, and definitely, out of this 100 students, suppose few students will go to IT industry, or few students may be also interested to go for higher studies, or few students are also interested to start their startups. So this proportion of these three possibilities always keeps on changing. And even it is possible that the student one who is interested to go into IT industry may be interested after 2 years to join for higher studies. Or even though many of you might be also working in research and development and implementation and production in IT industry. So wherever you go, writing a research paper is very, very important skill. And it is not writing writing a research paper, or it is basically writing a technical document, because all we are technical people, and when you will get into your professional world, every individual will have to go through this process of writing a research paper or process of writing a technical document. And then we are going to discuss what are the qualities which are required to come up with a very good research paper or very good technical document. Is it fine? So the first point is, thank you very much for nice introduction. So what will be the purpose of this entire session? Will be, we'll discuss the important guidelines which will play a very important role in writing, organizing your entire paper. And definitely, that will help you to increase the possibility of getting it published in high quality journal. And then I will also share my research experience of last around 23 years in this education industry. And then I will also start with that, what benefits I am getting today when, I'm publishing some research paper, and then that research paper is being cited by somebody else. So we'll also see some performance metrics of the researcher, as well as performance metrics of the journal where we are, we want to publish your paper. And then we'll see some, other points that, what are this publication process, how it works, and so on. So before we start with this, how to write research paper. So the first point is definitely to write a research paper, what is required. Please ask me question if you have any at any point of time. मला तुम्हाला कुठलाही doubt असेल तर मला please you can raise the hand, stop me and ask the question, or you can also ask me question in the last 10 to 15 minutes. कोणालाही काही doubt असेल तर लिहून ठेवा. I will clear every doubt in last 10 to 15 minutes, right? So the first question, it should come in your mind that when I'm supposed to write a research paper, or you are given a task to write a research paper. So definitely, before writing a research paper, what is the basic fundamental condition you have? The fundamental condition you have is you should have some research done. So again, you should understand then what do you mean by research. So the research is a very subjective terminology in the literature, but माझी स्वतःच understanding, I will put my perspective towards research. What is my understanding, what is my philosophy of research is, you all are from computer science and engineering branch. So, identifying a very small problem in your branch, in your domain. Please listen to me carefully. What do you mean by research? Identifying a very valid problem in computer science and engineering. And then solving that problem with some innovation or some novelty is, we call it as research. Very simple. So again, go back to the next first step. What is important is to do research. The first step is to identify a valid problem in computer science and engineering. And once you identify that valid problem, then you try to solve that problem with some innovation, some novelty. So definitely, you should understand what do you mean by some innovation or some novelty. Let me give you a very simple example. I always give this example to all the student, all the audience. Research is very subjective topic. Research is very subjective title. I will give you a very simple example. Subjective topic means म्हणजे काय की research हा माझ्यासाठी research definition वेगळी आहे. For second another person, maybe research will have another perspective to his or her opinion, or the same word research can be of different opinion for another third person, because it has got different angle to it. Similarly, it is like when we do research, maybe I'm doing some implementation for your like we all do some implementation of or in our final year project. And then if you look into the implementation of all final year project, you will find that suppose there are 30 groups in your batch, project groups in your batch. Then out of 30 groups, you will find that 20 groups are purely the implementation project, and then 10 groups are basically done some research and then they have implemented that entire project. Are you getting my point? So I will give you a very simple example to make you understand. I hope I am audible. माझा आवाज नाही आला तर लगेच सांगा, but we are connected in the online mode, so please feel free to interact, right? Let me give you a very simple example. Sagaini, please लक्ष देऊन ऐका. I always share this example with all. Suppose I'm calling 5 ladies, maybe from same family, and then I'm giving them same floor, ज्याला आपण कणिक म्हणतो, पाणी, meat, gas, the utensils to roll the chapati, and the task is to prepare chapati. I hope all understood my use case. माझी use case काय, मी एकाच फॅमिलीतल्या 5 लेडीजला डायसवर बोलवलं. त्यांना सेम गव्हाचं पीठ, पाणी, सेम मीठ, सेम गॅस, सेम त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो बेलना, पोळपाट, व्हॉट एव्हर इट इज, तवा, सगळं सेम दिलं. My question is, सगळ्यांची चपाती सारखी राहील की वेगळी राहील? Anybody can answer my question, please. Students, this question is for students. Chapati will be same or different? Anybody? Different. Why? Prashila Mari. Very good. It will be different. Again, try to understand. I am calling ladies from same family. प्रत्येक लेडीजला आपण सेम we are giving same ingredients, same equipment, same utensils, everything is same. Still, chapati will be different, and there will be lot of variation in the chapatis prepared by these 5 ladies. Can you think and can you give me answer of this question? Why this is different? Even everything is same. Try to understand, right? Even everything is same, it is different. The reason is, anybody? Yes. Every individual have different methodology. Every individual have different experience. every individual have different perspective to prepare that chapati. Are you getting my point? So same thing goes with the research. Research is also very subjective topic, and every individual has different perspective to it. But definitely, always when you look at these 5 chapatis, then when these 5 chapatis will be presented to you, definitely you will be able to decide which one is the best. Yes or no? And definitely to decide which one is the best, we will apply some parameters, which one is soft, which one is fried properly, or whatever it is. Are you getting my point? So try to understand, every research is a research, but definitely the research with more novelty, more innovation is recognized. And the same thing goes with writing a research paper. So let me go back to the next point. I hope you understood my example, because this example is very, very important to understand that why this research is subjective, why this research, definition of research as well as perspective of research varies from one individual to another individual, right? So now before we get into writing a research paper, okay, so what is required to write a research paper? Some basic research is required. And what is required for basic research? Some valid problem, and then solving that problem with some innovation and some novelty. So that is how it goes. And then now let us assume that you have some research done. Okay, so again, there are 3 types of research. The first is scientific research. Scientific research is the something which you are coming up with some new theory, new algorithm. So we call it as scientific research. Second type of research is fundamental research, where you are coming up fundamental research. So Newton's law, right? Law, or rather fourth law, fifth law, whatever it is. So all these laws which has been coined and accepted by the world, we call it as fundamental research. Okay. And the third type of research is, we call it as delta research, or we call it as incremental research, where we are adding some innovation or some novelty to the existing solution. Now you can decide the research which you are carrying goes into the which category. Is it fine? So now let us assume that you have done some research, maybe it goes to the first category, second category, or third category, and now it's the time to write the paper. And then let us assume that we will go to the writing paper in the next part. So let us assume that you have written a paper, and then you have to decide that how this paper will go to the publication. So the first and very important point is, try to understand. Today I am presenting to you on Google Meet, and I have some slides prepared for you. And when you have some doubt from the point which is there on the slide, or from the point which I am explaining to you, then definitely you can raise your hand, you can stop me, and you can ask the question, right? Because I am here to explain what I mean to say. मी इथे आहे जे मला काय म्हणायचं आहे ते सांगा, एक्सप्लेन करायसाठी, right? But when you are writing a research paper, that paper is going to the third person, and when third person is reading that paper, you are not there to explain what you mean to say. Are you getting? So this is a difference between writing a paper, because writing a paper should be easily communicable, it should be readable. Is it clear? So now let us say that my paper is ready, and now I want to put it for publication. Then we always go for journal, and always journal is measured, or the performance of any journal is measured with the factor. I don't know how many of you heard about it, but the performance of the journal is measured with the very important factor. We call it as impact factor. Okay, how many of you knows impact factor? Jala kunala impact factor माहित नसेल तर it's okay, माहित असेल तर it is really good, but still please understand what do you mean by impact factor. So what is impact factor of any journal? See here, the journal impact factor is measure of frequency with which the average article in journal has been cited in particular year. Cited म्हणजे काय की त्या जर्नल मध्ये पब्लिश झालेले जे पेपर्स आहे ते पेपर्स कोणीतरी त्यांच्या पेपर मध्ये रेफरन्सेस मध्ये साइट केलेले आहे. इज इट क्लियर? सो व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन? We will see the formula of impact factor on the next slide. So the journal impact factor is measure of the frequency with which the average article in the journal has been cited in that particular year. And this impact factor is very important parameter generally used by the entire world to decide the quality of journal. Is it clear? So let us say that तुम्ही बघा slide वर you will see that there is one journal and the impact factor of this journal is 5.726. So you should ask this question to yourself, and you should understand, because whenever you go to any publishing journal website, always they give you the impact factor of that journal. So when you look at the impact factor of that journal, you should understand that how this impact factor is calculated. So this is a formula to calculate impact factor of any journal. So please try to understand. So suppose I want to calculate impact factor of any journal in 2011. So we will consider the performance of journal in terms of how many papers from that journal are cited for last 2 years. So see the formula. Suppose I want to calculate impact factor in 2011. Okay. So what I will do, I will see number of citations in 10 and number of citations in 9. Okay. So number of citations in 10 are 1015 and number of citations in 9 are 1775. So summation of this is coming to be 2790. Fine. And then you will also find out how many papers are published in 10 and how many papers are published in 9. So how many papers are published in 10? 300. How many papers are published in 9? 300. HE addition kiti zali? 600. So 2790 divided by 600 is coming to be 4.65, and that's the reason the impact factor of this journal in 2011 will be 4.65. I hope all of you understood what do you mean, how to calculate impact factor. Yes or no? Please say yes, please say no. All of you understood? So this is a very fundamental formula which is used by entire world to calculate impact factor of any journal, and it is very, I tried to explain it in very simple way. So this is how impact factor of any journal is calculated. Now, how to evaluate any individual researcher on the globe. So you can see here there is another factor, we call it as immediacy index. So impact factor is calculated based on performance of 2 years. I index is calculated based on the performance of 1 year. You can see, I'm interested to calculate I index of 2013. So it is like number of citations in 13 divided by number of article published in 13. Is it fine? Any doubt? Now, the next very, very important term is H index. And generally H index is referred to the, it is basically an evaluation parameter for researcher. I will explain by taking my example, which is there on the next slide. Okay. Can you look at this slide? Sagana, is there this slide? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. So this is a Google. Let me enlarge this bit so that you all will be able to see. And then, हे आता मी just 5 मिनिटापूर्वी मी माझं Google Scholarचं profile घेतलं आणि I have put it on the slide, and I hope now you all are able to see. And can you see now what is my H index? किती दिसतंय इथे?
25.
25. Okay, so try to understand the formula of H index. My H index today is 25, and total number of citations to my credit are 2,769. Is it fine? And I index is 40. I hope now you will understand the entire formula. So what is H index? H index is 25. Yacha meaning काय? Suppose I have published 200 papers. Listen me carefully. Suppose I have, and then you will go to the definition. Suppose I have published 200 papers. Then out of 200 papers, if my H index is 25, means my at least 25 papers has got more than 25 citations. At least my 25 papers has got more than 25 citations, and remaining किती? 200 minus 25 किती राहिले? 175, right? So remaining 175 papers will have less than 25 citations. Are of you getting? Yes or no? Students are not responding. I want every student to respond so that yes, very good. So माझे किती पेपर होते? 200. 200 पैकी at least 25 papers has got 25 citations. That's why my H index is 25. And remaining 175 cited papers will be having less than 25 citations. Is it clear, all of you? Yes or no? So now, see here, what is the formula of H index? A researcher or scientist has index H if each of his or her n papers, म्हणजे 200 पैकी 25 पेपर have at least h citation, म्हणजे 25 citation, and remaining n minus h, म्हणजे 200 minus 175 पेपर have less than or no more than s citations each. Is it clear, all of you? Yes or no? Okay, and then I am explaining this with my example only, so you can see that my h index is 25. So simple. My 25 papers has got at least 25 citations, and then remaining papers are having less than 25 citations. Is it clear? Any doubt? Yes or no? Yes, all of you? Yes or no? Fine. Nobody is responding. I think nobody is even responding in the chat box. Please respond in the chat box if you are getting. Very good. Okay. So now let me come back to the next point. So now when I want to start writing the paper, you know that when you write the paper, very important point is you don't know who is going to review your paper, right? This reviewing process is very interesting, and you are not at all aware about it, that who is going to review your paper, because always this review process is anonymous. Anonymous म्हणजे काय? Always this review process is anonymous. Anonymous म्हणजे काय की when paper comes to me for review, I don't know that paper is written by which author. I don't know that paper is written by whom. It is possible that Pingre sir is submitting a paper to one journal, and the same paper is coming to Sawant sir for review, because that paper will come with only title and the entire paper, and then nobody knows that paper is written by which author, and even Sawant sir is reviewing that paper and he don't know that that paper is written by his colleague. Are you getting my point? So entire review process is anonymous. Okay, so in this case it is very difficult to understand what reviewer is expecting, and then it is I hope my slide is visible. Yes or no? Please.
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Very good. Okay, so finally we, in spite of other than knowing who is reviewer, how that reviewer is going to review your paper, finally decision is accept or reject. Okay, and sometime if it is accept, it is with minor revision, or it is with major revision, and then it can also be reject. Is it fine? So please look at this figure slide very carefully. The time spent on the paper in first case and in second case is same. Okay, so time spent on the paper and understanding level of paper content. But if it is a good writing, then understanding level of the paper will be very high, and if it is bad writing, then understanding level of paper will be very low. And if the understanding level of your paper is low, then it will lead to the result that is reject. All of you getting? So try to understand how you make your paper readable, how you make your paper communicable is very very important. कारण आपण पेपर लिहिताना तो आपला रिसर्च आहे, तो आपला रिसर्च आपल्याला through your writing, through your 5 or 6 or 10 pages, that paper should be clear to the third person who is not at all aware about your research. Are you getting? So what is responsibility for writer, author? The responsibility of author is to make your paper more readable. आपण बघू readable करण्यासाठी काय लागतं, right? So what is important to for author? Always author should try that your paper becomes more readable, your paper become more communicable, and the third person who is review, that third person is called as reviewer in this publication process, and that third person will understand what you mean to say through your writing. Is it clear? So I hope this figure is very clear to you all. Is it clear? The figure is very very self-explanatory, and time spent on the paper is fine, but understanding level of the paper will depend on how you write your paper. Very clear? So, few tips we will see on the next slide. So, knowing your reviewer, so please read these points very carefully. Reviewer will make the judgment based on his or her own understanding of your work, not by your understanding. Is it clear? So, good writing secures that reader can understand your work as early as possible, and then definitely it will be very precise understanding and in more easier way. Therefore, good writing is important, as core of the technology is also important for making any paper successful. Is it clear? And definitely more easy, more readable you write the paper, रिव्ह्युअरला तुम्हाला आणखी चांगल्या कमेंट्स देता येईल, सो दॅट युअर पेपर विल बी मोर फाईन ट्यून by incorporating all these comments, and ते तुम्हालाच त्याचा eventually it is going to benefit you only. Is it fine? So there's before you think, write a paper, always we are like this because we don't know. So paper writing is very enjoyable process. Those who have not tried, please try, because you have done your research, and now this entire research and एखादा प्रोजेक्ट तुम्ही केला असेल तर तो पूर्ण फायनल इयरचा प्रोजेक्ट तुम्ही कसा केला, त्यात काय मेथोडॉलॉजी वापरली, काय टेक्नॉलॉजी वापरली, काय प्रोग्रामिंग लँग्वेज वापरली, काय डेटा सेट वापरला, then what results you have achieved, and then everything which is there in the form of implementation, you have to convert it into a research paper. And this is always how we look at it when you think of writing a good paper. Is it clear? So before you write or think of some paper, always you have to understand, try to understand, because मी आधीच तुम्हाला सांगितलं की 3 types of research, and majority of the research goes into that category of delta research. Majority of the research goes into that category of incremental research. आणि जेव्हा incremental research असतो तेव्हा always you have to, when you are doing your own coming with your own research, then always you have to compare with your research with the existing one. So you can see on the slide right side there is a old work which has been carried out, and then you are coming up with some new work for the same problem. So in this case, always you have to identify the limitations of your existing work, and always there are limitations for the existing work. Then you have to clearly explain or introduce what changes you have proposed in order to overcome these limitations of the existing work. And definitely the new solution which you have. So always again it is possible that new solution is also having some limitations. Always, no work is perfect work. Nobody is perfect. Always there is scope for improvement, so that we reach to the or we go too close to the perfection. Are you getting? So this research is always a continuous process. I am doing something, looking into the motivation and limitation of previous work. Again, my work will be considered by somebody, and again he or she will look into the limitations of my work, and this research goes on. No research is a perfect research. Otherwise, always there would have been a full stop to the research. But research la kadihi full stop nasto. You know that. Look into the very simple example of any product. Let's take a simple example of television. तुम्ही 15 वर्षापूर्वीचे टेलिव्हिजन बघा आणि you look into the television, TV आजचे टीव्ही बघा. The research is continued, and today now we have TVs with touch screen and all LED and whatever technology is coming up, and we don't know again how this. So every product, every service, every tool goes into this process of research, and this process is continuing. Are you getting my point? So let's move to the next point. As already we started with a very important point, that novelty. Every research will have some novelty or some innovation to it. So what do you mean by novelty? A new solution nobody else has tried. Novelty is nothing but you have achieved some good improvements on the top of existing work, and then definitely some other challenging questions which can be there for your again new idea. So what is important is, suppose you have tried with some new idea. So see here, put more efforts to see the limitation of your own new idea, because I told you that no work is perfect work. You have to always see that this work can be fine-tuned again and again till this goes to the close to the perfection. So please see the last line. One unacceptable disadvantage may totally kill this new idea. Unacceptable disadvantage, try to understand. So it is always better to evaluate your own work in terms of novelty, so that you can also put the limitation of your own work in the paper, and definitely reviewer will be happy. जर तुम्ही तुमच्याच कामाचं ड्रॉबॅक तुम्ही तुमच्या पेपरमध्ये लिहिताय, म्हणजे काय, yes, you have complete understanding of your own work, and that put positive impact on the reviewer. Is it clear? So let me go to the next part of my presentation, that is hints for successful research publication. Okay, so these are some hints which I am sharing, but I am not saying these are the only hints which are required for having a successful research publication, because it's a very huge domain. I am sharing my experiences today, but yes, tomorrow you will hear from some new hints from some other speaker, and then you have to start collecting, aggregating all these points, and then you will have your own philosophy of writing a research paper. Is it clear? Okay, so आता आपण या पार्ट मध्ये बघू की what are some key points which are very, very important. So first point is the logically perfect is very important, because you are writing a research paper. Try to understand, you are not writing any letter, you are not writing any email, you are writing a technical document where your responsibility is to communicate the entire project work which you have carried out through your paper, where your responsibility is also to justify तुमच्या पेपर मध्ये नवीन काय आहे, तुमच्या सोल्युशन मध्ये नवीन काय आहे, so that your entire work, your novelty, your solution can be benefited to the technical world. Is it clear? So logically perfect is very, very important in paper writing. So you have to ensure that you are not doing anything wrong. Please look at the slide very carefully. You are ensuring that you are not doing anything wrong, and to ensure that you are not doing anything wrong, what is important is the important point is you have to be very, very confident about your own work. आता या गुगल मीट मध्ये जवळपास 70 ते 80 स्टुडंट्स आहे, म्हणजे आय एम अज्युमिंग दॅट there are 20 to 25 groups in this final year, and every group has done some project. So if I will ask any group to explain their project, you should be able to explain very confidently. That is what is logically perfect. Yes, this is what the problem you identified, this is how you have solved, these are the technologies, these are the results, and now you are very confident about your own research, and then eventually we will see that how to convert this entire project to the research paper. I am expecting that जर 25 ग्रुप्स आहेत तर कमीत मिनिमम 25 पेपर्स या 25 ग्रुप वरून पब्लिश व्हायलाच पाहिजे. इज इट क्लियर? ओके, सो लेट्स सी नाउ. Writing a research paper is like cooking, because cooking ka barak, because in cooking you have to take care of every side. Why you have to take care of every side? Let me give you a very simple example. जर मला भाजी बनवायची आहे, curry, let's say that I want to prepare a potato curry. So when you are preparing a potato curry, it is not only preparing a curry, you have to ensure that potato is cooked properly, you have to ensure that the curry gravy is sufficiently thick or thin, you have to ensure that the spices are fine, salt is fine, the gravy is also cooked properly. Try to understand. So it is like a cooking, and you have to take care of every side. So same thing goes with writing a paper. We will see what same thing goes with writing a paper. So see here, first thing first, bad research can lead to the bad paper if it is not written properly, but good research, if it is written properly, will definitely lead to the good paper. But good research, if it is not written properly, will also lead to the bad paper. And this is a very simple example I would like to give you. Try to understand the context of what I am trying to understand. So there are good grapes, and then there is a good work and well written, so definitely it will go to the good journal. But it is poorly written, it will lead to the poor or bad paper. But definitely always bad research will go to the bad paper. I hope the message from this slide is very clear to you all. So good ideas and results, if not well presented, can have a little impact. So you have to present it very well. So now Let us try to understand. Now, I hope you understood the entire philosophy of doing a research, and what do you mean by research, and how to convert that research into paper. But now, when you really come to the writing, so every research paper has got these three main components. I hope नामदेव सर किंवा पिंगळे सर my slides are moving. मी आता slide number 16 वर आहे, बरोबर?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So elements of paper always. I am a reviewer. I am associate editor. I am also editor in chief. And when any paper comes to me for evaluation, I always look at the paper in these three components. पहले मैं बघतो, so you can see the pyramid, and more weightage is to the content of the paper, then is to the style of the paper, and then third is format of the paper. Is it clear? So we'll see these three components very carefully, then you will understand how it goes, and then it will be easy for you to understand. जेव्हा तुम्ही पेपर लिहाल तर काय लिहायचं, पेपरचे काय काय कंपोनंट्स आहेत, ते पेपरचे कंपोनंट्स लिहिताना काय काळजी घ्यायची, that we will see for next 20-25 minutes, and then maybe we'll open up the session for question and answer. Okay, so always this elements of the paper is always evaluated based on these three: content, style, and format. Is it fine? So always title of paper first. Always we start with title of the paper. So you can see here, always avoid long titles. Always your title should be around 8 to 10 words. It is recommended that always you use some keywords in the title. Don't use acronyms, and be descriptive. Don't use word a novel, a next generation. I came across many papers always where it is written a novel algorithm for. Who are you to say that your work is novel? Let others say that your work is novel, right? So don't use this fancy word, a novel, a next generation, the best technique. Who are you to say that your technique is best? Making sense, all of you? सगळ्यांना समजत आहे की नाही मी काय म्हणताय, right? So be very careful, be very selective while framing the title. Let me give a very simple example. इथे मी 2 titles दिले आहे तुम्हाला, बरोबर? So can you tell me which title is better? First title is better or second title is better? Yes, please, anybody? I'm expecting answer from you. Hello, I'm expecting answer from you. First title is better or second title is better? I don't see many of you are first title is better. Anybody? Yes, very good. So try to understand. This is something, the why. Suppose मी विचारलं कोणाला तरी की ऐश्वर्या देशमुख किंवा वैष्णवी घाडगे, can you tell me why first title is better? Because that title is creating some curiosity, but again it is a subjective matter. For someone first title is better, but for somebody maybe I will feel that the second title is better. Are you getting? Okay, but you have to be very clear about opening statement of the title. It should consist of all keywords, and your title should be meaningful. Are you getting? Okay, so now let us go to the next part. And next part of the title paper is abstract. Do you know when we write abstract, there are many very poor examples when abstract comes to me in the form of paper, with the paper, and then when I look at the abstract, it is very difficult for me to understand what is there in the paper. Is it clear? So my recommendation, my philosophy, my principle is that always when you write an abstract is generally 8 to 10 lines. So this 8 to 10 lines of abstract, always abstract ला 4 part मध्ये divide करायचं. And which are these 4 parts? पहिला part आहे context. You have to set the context. Then speak about what problem you are addressing in the paper. then talk about your solution, and talk about your output, outcomes, and conclusion. Is it clear? So always the best good abstract should be divided into these 4 components. Context म्हणजे काय की पहिले तुम्ही तुमच्या पेपरचा context set करा. नंतर you talk about your problem which you are addressing in the paper. Then you talk about your own solution which you are presenting in the paper, and then you talk about output, outcomes, and conclusion. आता मला एक सिंपल प्रश्न सगळ्यांना आहे की जर तुम्ही आपल्याला we always write abstract in 8 to 10 lines, right? So when you write abstract in 8 to 10 lines, जास्त वेटेज कुठल्या कंपोनेंटला द्यायला पाहिजे जेव्हा तुम्ही abstract लिहिता? Come on, fast. More weightage should be given to which component? Context, problem, solution, or main conclusion. Then I will understand your understanding. Yes. Just again I will go to the slide. This is so जास्त डिस्कशन कुठल्या पार्टवर असायला पाहिजे? पहिल्या, दुसऱ्या, तिसऱ्या, चौथ्या. Yes or no? Yes. 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 Come on. Yes. So more discussion should be on which part? Very good. Solution. So more discussion should be on solution and the output, main conclusion. Are you getting? There should not be unnecessary discussion on context and problem. 2-line context, 2-line problem, and then there should be 6 lines for your solution. Very good. I request all of you to clap for Gayatri. And there should be more solution, more discussion on the solution and conclusion. Is it clear? Okay. So this is something very important when you write a paper. So look at this abstract. This is good or bad? All of you? Yes? Yes, this is a good or bad abstract. This is basically a good abstract. Is it clear? Okay. Now, because there is more discussion on the solution and output, conclusion, right? You can see this is again a bad abstract because it is good or bad because there is more discussion on context and all. You can see here again another example of bad abstract. Unnecessary, there is more discussion on context and problem. But definitely, I hope you all will agree with me that जेव्हा मला पेपर लिहायचा आहे, and then that paper is to be presented for submitted for review, so more discussion is always should be on तुमचं काम काय, solution, त्या solution मध्ये novelty काय आहे, and what are the main outputs or what is the main conclusion. Is it clear? All of you understand? Yes. So this is very, very interesting. We will see some more examples in the next slide, but you have to understand that this is how the good abstract will look like always. This is how the bad abstract will look like, because as a reviewer, me editor, so I know the context, I know the problem, what I will expect when I have to decide whether your paper should be accepted or rejected. The more discussion should be on your solution and outcomes in your entire research paper. Very clear. So the next part after abstract, we go for writing a research paper. We go for writing introduction section. Is it clear? So what is this introduction section? It is a very important section of the paper because it establishes the contents, context, scope of the work, and very key references. The very specific key references related to your work in your paper. Is it clear? Most important part, what is missing today in the introduction section is author don't mention the contributions of the paper. To me, introduction section madhej, in the remaining part of the paper, what contributions you are presenting should be clearly written in the bullet points. पहिला contribution is, in my paper is like, extensive survey of related work and gap analysis. Second contribution is new method of, searching or sorting, whatever it is. And then, the improvement with respect to the state of the art. हे माझे 3 कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन आहे जे मी एंटायर पेपर in my entire paper I have presented. So these 3 main contributions should be presented in the introduction section. Are you getting my point? As well as, you know, your entire work should be related to the, you know, previous problem, previous solutions which we are discussing slightly, because, you know, there is separate section in the paper, we call it as literature review or related work. Literature review कसा लिहायचा किंवा related work कसं लिहायचं, this is altogether a very different topic where, you know, we can discuss for, you know, in another session. But today I am not really getting into the, you know, this literature survey part. But literature survey म्हणजे काय की जिथे in that section we generally you know, consider 8 to 10 papers on the similar work which are published in the past, and then, you know, we see that how this work has been addressed, how this problem has been addressed in the literature and their drawback, so that this entire drawback will make you understand that, you know, what is missing in the literature, and then, you know, you can you know, go ahead with addressing one of the problems which is still not addressed. Is it clear? So this is something is very, very important section. We call it as introduction section. Okay, so again, my fundamental question, I will put it in the chat box. The general outline of the paper is, you know, abstract, introduction, then is, you know, motivation, then is related work, then is, yes, gap analysis, then is proposed work, then is results and discussion, and then is conclusions and future work, and the last section is references. So look at the standard outline of any paper, research paper. Paper start with abstract, introduction, motivation, related work, gap analysis, proposed work, conclusions and future work, and references. So looking into this entire paper, please tell me that more, suppose maza, you know, my paper is having 10 pages, for example. So can you tell me, any student or any faculty can answer my question, more weightage should be given to which part? Yes? Anybody?
Result and discussion.
Yes, sir. Namdo, sir?
A result and discussion.
Yes, proposed work and result and
Proposed
discussion.
work, result and discussion.
Yes, very good. Okay, absolutely correct. So try to understand, and I hope you understand what I am supposed to, you know, explain to you. जेव्हा मी 10 पानाचा पेपर लिहिताय तर जास्त discussion, more weightage should be on proposed work and result and discussion. Are you getting? So in my opinion, out of 10 pages, 6 pages should be dedicated to proposed work, result and discussion, and the remaining pages can be, you know, divided into introduction, motivation and related work. Are you getting my point, all of you? Otherwise, you know, there is no point in just coming up with a paper which will be finally in the dustbin. Are you getting? Okay, so let me again go back to the same point. So this is how, you know, we generally deal with the introduction section. Okay, now what is important is when you talk about the next part, so you can see here in the introduction section, when you are writing introduction, you should be able to attract reader to read my paper, right? And remember, less is always more. You should not just write anything. And today you are again supported by this very interesting tool, that is ChatGPT. And, you know, you will find that, you know, writing is not an issue, but again, you know, don't trust on ChatGPT, don't get addicted to ChatGPT, because original research, original thought process is always going to be remain there. Is it clear? So these are all technological booms which will come and go, but natural intelligence is going to be always there. And believe in yourself, believe in your own understanding, and, you know, try to write a very good paper. So what is important is, you know, you are writing, you are putting a lot of efforts. I started with that. And, you know, if I'm not convinced in the introduction section, then it will put a bad impression, and then finally it will result into the paper rejection. So introduction section where you are setting the context of your entire work, you are putting the contributions of your entire in your entire paper is very, very important. Is it clear? And you should focus more on the introduction section. Then it comes is a main content. After introduction, I already told you me literature survey किंवा related work section जो आहे तो मी skip केला because altogether it is a very different topic to discuss. And then I am switching to the main content. Main content म्हणजे काय? As we already discussed, propose work, results and discussion. So propose work म्हणजे काय की your own algorithm. So what should be there? So in propose work, you should present clearly your system. System may be topology, circuit, control scheme, algorithm, etc. You should define a nomenclature and variables relating to the system and diagrams. जर तुम्ही theoretical analysis केलं असेल, so your theoretical work or analysis. If you design a model, if you design a flowchart, then that should come into the proposed work. If you have done simulation, if you have done experimentation, if you have done implementation, then entire experimental setup, implementation details should come into the main content. Then I already told you that when you are doing some research and you are coming with some results, always you have to compare that result with the previous contributions. Using some graphs, plots, tables. You have to always benchmark your results with the existing one. Please see that. Unless and until you don't compare your work with the previous existing work, nobody will accept your work in the technical community, and always you have to give good references to that. Is it clear? So comparing, benchmarking your entire work with the existing work is very, very important. And you can refer to any good paper which is published. You will find that always there is a benchmarking, always there is a comparison. Is it clear? Okay. Then give all conclusions. Conclusion मध्ये बऱ्याच वेळा असं होते की लोक फक्त पॉझिटिव्ह कन्क्लुजन्स, फेवरेबल कन्क्लुजन्स टाकतात. But don't hide anything from the reviewer. Reviewer is technically competent to find out unfavorable points in your research. So always put favorable as well as unfavorable conclusions, and always identify future work and open problem, because that is what is reviewer is expecting. That is what is generally expecting, that जेव्हा मी माझं future work लिहितो, so from my work you should tell that how this current work can be extended so that next researcher will pick up the same problem. Next researcher will cite your paper, and then your research will be continued in the future. Are you getting, all of you? So let's go to the next point. The language is very, very important. So let us try. आपण बऱ्याच वेळा म्हणतो की language is language plays a very, very important role. Even you speak, even you talk, even you shake your hands, and even you write something, it is presented to somebody else. So let's say that a 3 sentence ahe. Please read all these 3 sentences and tell me which sentence looks better. Come on, we have short time, so let's do it fast. Yes, we have 3 sentences, and tell me which sentence looks better. All 3 sentences are same. Okay, but in your opinion, which is better to write in the paper? Suppose you are writing a paper and all these 3 sentences are there, then can you tell me which sentence is better? Anybody? Yes? Which looks better? Second. Some of you are saying second. Yes? Anybody? Come on. Very interesting. All are saying, Shwara is saying last. So I will say, second and third is better in my opinion. Yes or no? So try to understand. Language matters a lot. How you frame your sentence. Yes, very good. Right? Okay. Now let's go to the next example. You can see here again, there are 3 sentences written. Can you tell me which sentence looks better? Yes? Cheap. The circuit performed well and the noise level was low. The circuit performed well and the noise level was low. The circuit performed well, in addition, the noise level was low. Can you tell me which looks better out of these three? Yes? Come on. Very good. Okay. The third looks more readable, third look more convincing. Yes, very good. Absolutely. I'm very happy to see such a responsive audience, because it is very important to understand what is, which statement looks simple English, but one will write in other way, somebody will write in other way, and that makes the difference. Yes or no? Okay. Now see here, the next point, the chip feature, the features of the chip, which looks better? Yes. The chip's feature, the features of the chip. Bola laukar. The chip's feature or the features of the chip? Yes? Please fast. Very good. The features of the chip, right? As you can see, as one can see. So which is looks better? You can see or as one can see? Why you are asking reviewer to see? You can write as one can see, yes or no? Are you getting? All of you? So these are very small examples, but matters a lot. So then conclusion, let us come to the conclusion and reference section. So generally in conclusion section, student only or author only lists down what has been presented in the paper, but it is not like that. In conclusion section, you have to put the entire insights of your contributions along with limitations and drawback. And always when you write a conclusion, it should be supported by the results which you have presented in the paper. Is it clear? Otherwise, the most of the time I see when we write a conclusion, always this conclusion is written with just first part of the paper, present introduction, introduction and then related work and then proposed work. No, it is not conclusion. Conclusion of your entire research, conclusion of your entire contributions with the strong support of your results which you have achieved during your implementation, experimentation, or implement the simulation. Is it clear? Okay. So please see that these are the very small points, but once you will start writing, you will understand that yes, this is very, very important. And then the last part is references. Please see that you have good number of references in the paper, around 15 to 25. Always, don't cite your own paper, but in your case, maybe this situation is not there, but always you have to cite the recent papers, because citing recent paper indicate the timeliness of your own topic. And, your paper should be, the papers all with you are citing in your research paper should be from same journal, same topic, same society, so that, it's a good blend. It is a story building. Paper is not writing, you have picked up something and put it there. You read before you start writing a research paper. You first understand how this paper is written by some, existing researchers. Then only you will understand that, how to do, how to get into this best practice of, research paper writing. Anyway, don't make your paper complicated. Always you have to ensure that your paper is very simple. Keep it simple as student will understand it. You can use mathematics in the paper, but again, make it as simple as you can. Many times people use figures in the paper. Generally, why we use figures in the paper? Because most of the time we have page limit. So instead of writing 2 pages to explain some topic, it is always better to put entire 2 pages in the form of figure. And even that figure whichever you are putting in the paper should be very clear. Your figure should be very clear. You can go to around my Amazon page. I will put the link here so that you will understand Amazon. So all the books which are written by me. So far I have written 54 books, and you can get this list on the Amazon. And all these 54 books are available on Amazon. And you can see that, when I write a paper, I draw my own figure. Okay. So here you can see this is my Amazon link. You can get all my books which I have written so far. And every figure in the book is written by me. So figure should be, so look at the figures. simple, concise, and beautiful, and the same figure is represented in very complex form where nothing is visible, nothing is clear, nothing can be understood, right? So you have to be very clear in putting the figure in your paper, and that figure should be self-explanatory. So let us go to the conclusion. So what is my message from this is, we started with that point that when you are interested to write a good paper, always you have to be very careful in deciding what you are supposed to write. Before that, you have to be very confident about your own work. Whatever project you have done should be very clear to yourself first. जर तो प्रोजेक्ट तुम्हाला क्लिअर आहे तरच तुम्ही तो व्यवस्थितपणे लिहू शकाल आणि तो लिहिल्यानंतर पुढच्याला समजेल जेव्हा तुम्ही तिचं नाही एक्सप्लेन करायला. बिकॉज रिव्ह्यूअर इज अनॉनिमस and reviewer will understand your work based on his or her own understanding. Is it clear? So that is very, very important to look into these aspects of paper writing, and that's the reason we all are here connected on this digital platform. So you can see here again, you might have seen my already I have shown my Google Scholars profile here. I have got 2769 citations. म्हणजे काय की 2769 लोकांनी माझं काम आतापर्यंत साइट केलंय. Are you getting? So what is important is, I believe just writing a paper is not important. In my opinion, what is important that your work should be cited by someone. जर तुमचं काम कोणी वापरलंच नाही तर त्याचा काही उपयोग नाही, आणि त्याचा उपयोग नसला तर तुम्हाला you will not get recognition back to yourself. Are you getting? So your work should be cited by the researchers, and that's the reason see my concluding slide. A good paper become high cited paper if it is easy to read and understand. Okay, if it describe a problem and has clear contribution. जो तुमचा टॉपिक आहे जो तुम्ही पेपर मध्ये प्रेझेंट केला, इट शुड बी टाइमली and it should be well presented and properly formatted. These are the 4 key performance parameters for any paper should be published in good journal or good conference. Is it clear? And definitely जर तुमच्या पेपर मध्ये if there is a strong theoretical and analytical work presented which is supported by rigorous experimentation, validation and mathematical work, and definitely you will be able to come up with a very, very good research paper. And जोपर्यंत तुम्ही लिहिणार नाही, your teachers are there to guide you, we all are there to guide you, but जोपर्यंत तुम्ही practice करणार नाही, it is not like you will learn paper writing in 1 or 2 days, but yes, once you get into it you will enjoy. Is it clear? Because paper writing is a very, very interesting process, and you will be more happy when you get some comments, and you will be more and more happy when that paper is published and when that paper comes to the I will share. You can see, can you see my slide here?
Yes, sir.
तुम्ही माझा तिसरा पेपर बघा. हा पहिला पेपर माझा कोविड वर आहे. कोविड आलं मार्च मध्ये, हा पेपर सबमिट झाला, पब्लिश झाला जून मध्ये 2020. ओके, आणि तुम्ही बघा हा पेपर, this paper is published in very good journal, Springer Nature Journal of Computer Science, and you can see that किती सायटेशन्स या पेपरला मिळाले. हे पेपरचे पेपर सोडा, हा 10चा आहे, हा 13चा आहे, पण हा 10चा, हा 13चा आणि हा 2020चा कोविड वरचा पहिला सर्वे पेपर आहे. and how many citations you have got? 260. We have got 261 citations this paper has. Is it clear? So what is important point here is you have to see that how this paper get more citations, and yes, definitely it is not possible without hard work, and you have to see that you put your hard work, and once you put your hard work, I personally believe that hard work always pays off. Is it clear? So looking into this entire discussion of how to write a good research paper, what is important is we already discussed the content, style, and the formatting which you are doing in the paper is very, very important. Definitely data, what data you are putting in the paper is really important, but beyond that, what is important is how you present it, how you format it, and then finally you give a good shape. And your paper should be such a paper की जो पेपर कुठल्या तिसऱ्या माणसाकडे गेला रिव्ह्यूला आणि त्याला तुमच्या कामाबद्दल काही माहित नाही तरी once he go through the paper, there should be complete understanding of your entire work. So with this I would like to conclude, but yes, these are some very important tools. Mendeley, I don't know how many of you heard about it. Trello, हे सगळे इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये Trello, Tableau are very good. Tableau is one of the very good visualization tool. Trello is one of the famous project management tool. Mendeley is one of the very effective reference manager. Okay, reference manager काय आहे, Mendeley कसं काम करते, so try to get into it and definitely you will enjoy. So with this I would like to conclude. You can note down my email ID as well as mobile number, but yes, I will reserve next 10 to 15 minutes to answer your questions. So any question over to you, please feel free to ask any question which comes in your mind, so that there should be more takeaways. आम्ही पहिलेच तुम्हाला सांगितलं की या सेशन मधनं there should be more takeaways, and and more takeaways will be when you come up with more questions, right? So thank you very much, but over to you. Any question? Please ask. Yes, Pingre sir, let us collect the questions from students.
Yes, sir. So anybody have any question?
I will keep next 10 minutes for question. मराठीत विचारा, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. विचारता नसेल तर चॅट बॉक्स मध्ये टाका, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. But please ask questions. Yes. Any question? Please let me tell you, if you are hesitating to ask the question, you will never learn. So please don't hesitate to ask the question, and that's why we are here, right? That's why Pingre sir and me, we are since last 2-3 weeks we are working on the date, and finally we are here, right? Because now you are entering into the next corporate, next phase of your life, that is corporate world. And in corporate world, this skill of presenting is very important. Okay, very good question by Shruti. How much number of pages put impact on the research? It depends, right? Generally, if it is a research paper on your project, then 6 to 8 pages are sufficient, Shruti, to put the impact on the research paper. Is it clear, Shruti? I hope your question is answered, right? Yes, very good.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, designing a framework or writing or designing a prototype of a particular problem, does it leads to the good research?
Yes, it leads to the good research, but this entire protocol or framework should be supported by some results. If it is supported by some results, then definitely it will lead to the very good research paper.
Okay.
But this entire framework or protocol should be supported by some research, some results, implementation result or experimental result or simulation results.
Okay.
I hope, sir, your question is answered.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. There is another question by Sania. Are ideas and paragraphs smoothly and sufficiently developed? Or would more data or examples help? Are ideas and paragraph? What is the question? Can you please elaborate? Are ideas and paragraphs smooth? What, Sania, can you please explain this question? Sania,
you can unmute. Sania, you can unmute and you can ask directly. In Marathi also you can ask.
In Marathi also, in Hindi also you can ask, don't worry.
आयडियाज जास्त सांगावे लागतील का एक्झाम्पल थ्रू ते समजून सांगावं लागेल?
Example through, yes, very good. So example would be more interesting. Very good. Okay. So example will be more convincing. जर तुम्ही example दिलं तर जास्त clear होईल, right? So that is what I have given one section, motivation. In that motivation section, you can put your examples so that reader will understand that yes, that's why this work is required. Sania, समजलं?
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. Good question. But sorry, I was not able to understand तुला काय विचारायचं आहे. Is it fine? Good. Any other? Any other question? Yes? Sir, what should be the elements of methodology? Very good. So, methodology म्हणजे काय? Methodology is the high level flow of, getting that problem solved. Simple. High level flow. त्याला आपण म्हणतो methodology. आता एक एक्झाम्पल देतो की मेथडॉलॉजी मध्ये सपोज एक मेथडॉलॉजी आहे DMADV. ओके, तर DMADV म्हणजे काय? Define, measure, analyze, design, verify. So माझा रिसर्च मध्ये मी काय केलं? पहिले I defined a problem, then I measured the problem, then I analyzed, then I designed, and then I verified. So this is how high level process of getting the solution, right? So this is one of the methodology. This is a method you can Google. This is a methodology which was presented by Motorola. One of the very common methodology generally आपण वापरतो. आपण पहिले काय करतो? We define the problem, then we measure, then we analyze, मग आपण डिझाइन करतो, मग आपण व्हेरीफाय करतो. नाव जर तुम्ही एखादा AIML चा प्रोजेक्ट केला तर ही मेथडॉलॉजी चेंज होईल. वेअर डेटा कलेक्शन, yes or no, then data preparation, then building the model, then deploying the model, and then the results and discussion. Making sense, Vinod?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes,
Ola,
yes.
everyone should understand, don't worry, as you are studying in Pandharpur, doesn't matter. After 1 year, you are going to be at par and your competition is global. Just for my example, I had done my schooling from 7 villages till 10th standard from Marathi medium. Okay. And now, I am presenting to you. I had done my PhD from Europe, visited more than 20 countries so far. And, I have around 15 to 20 patents to my credit and authored more than 50 books. So, language is the only barrier. So please come out of it and विचारा whatever questions which comes in your mind. आणि मी सुरुवातच इथून केली होती. कोणालाही काही क्वेश्चन असेल लिहून ठेवा. I am there to explain. Is it fine? Any other question? Yes? Any other question? Very good. Vaishnavi, in motivation, you have to explain जर हे काम नसेल तर काय consequences आहे. You have to explain, if this work is not there, what are the consequences, and always motivation section can be written in terms of story, example, or some scenario. Is it clear? जसं आता एक सानियाने विचारलं होतं की बा आयडिया एक्झाम्पलने एक्सप्लेन करा. सो पुट द एक्झाम्पल, देन रीडर विल अंडरस्टँड जर हे एक्झाम्पल नसेल, हे वर्क नसेल तर काय नुकसान होईल. इज इट क्लियर वैष्णवी? Very good. Yes. Okay, so I think there are no questions. Over to Pingre sir and team. Thank you very much. सगळ्यांनी खूप अभ्यास करा. And this is a very high time for you to get placed into the corporate world. And खूप अभ्यास करून खूप मोठे व्हा. And please take care of your parents and try to be a good human being. And I will be happy to see somewhere at the top position in the coming future. Thank you very much. Over to Pingre sir and Namdev sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Sir has just now explained very nicely how to write the research paper. म्हणजे रिसर्च पेपर कसा लिहिला पाहिजे हे सरांनी अतिशय छान पद्धतीने सांगितलेलं आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, which content should be included in the abstract. I want to share my own experience when I written my paper and it was submitted to one of the journal, which is the SCI Indexed. So some of the comments which I got from the reviewer need to mention the accuracy in the abstract part. So what I want to say, this point which we have covered this, sir, which point which should be included in the abstract, we have to include it. It is mandatory if you want to publish the paper in good journal. Or even though which point should be included in the introduction, how to write the introduction, how to write the methodology, okay, and which points we have to include in the result analysis or discussion. Always we have to compare our result with the existing results, existing approaches. we have to prove that our result should be better than the existing approaches. Then and then our paper will be accepted in good journals. So obviously all these points sir has covered. So sir, really it's an informative session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks to our principal sir, all the staff members and all the students. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you all the best. And thank you, Karande sir and Pingre sir and Namdev sir
Thank
for
you, sir. Thank you.
this invitation. Thank you very much. All the best to all the students. Good day to all. Karande sir, betu.
All of you give the attendance and the feedback. The link are provided in the description box.